Next thing is supplements. My top 4 favorite supplements are liposomal, glutathione, NAC. NAC is great because it crosses the blood-brain barrier and converts to glutathione in the body, curcumin, activated charcoal, and a 5th actually is quercetin. Quercetin is a natural antihistamine. So if you are getting a lot of allergy symptoms like runny nose, itching, rashes, anything that the mold is causing, that antihistamine will help your body respond to that. In this video, I'm going to be talking all about mold and the harmful mycotoxins that can be released from it. Now, we all know that heart disease is the silent killer, but in my opinion, mold and its mycotoxins are the silent torturers. And the reason why they're torturing you is because you don't even see it coming on. They're very silent. You can start to get more fatigue, headaches, ADHD symptoms, start to get pains and stiffness, sleep issues because it affects melatonin production. It can create a whole chronic inflammatory response where you don't even see it coming. It can be accumulated effects over the years by mold that has been in your home, in your workplace, in your school, or various areas that you've been exposed to. The other reason why it's so silent and sneaky is because if you are getting these symptoms, you would suspect that everyone in your household should also be getting these symptoms, but that's not necessarily true. There's a genetic predisposition with the HLA-DR gene. If you have that gene, you are more susceptible to the effects that mold has on your body. The awful thing about having exposures to mold is that it causes dysfunction in your immune system, which indirectly leads to cancer. Now, it wasn't too long ago that we decided to renovate our bathroom, and the contractor comes in, he starts peeling away some of the tile in the shower, and our bathroom is connected to my bedroom. So literally there's a few meters from my bed to where we have our showers. When he was peeling away this tile, he said that there was mold everywhere. The whole bottom layer and the ridge walking into the shower was all mold. I don't know why these contractors put wood there in the first place. I mean, some sort of water resistant material seems more applicable, but this home is over 50 years old, so it makes me wonder, where else is there mold in my home that I haven't even been aware of? So as soon as I saw this lifted up and seeing the black stains everywhere, I know this is likely just a psychosomatic response where as soon as I see that, I suspect I have all the symptoms of mold. But listen to my voice. I know there is something going on, and I've started to feel more tired. My sleep was disrupted. Now I am taking massive action. So I want to tell you all about what I'm going to be doing in this video, because if you are experiencing any symptoms of just lowered energy and feeling like your daily activities are more of a struggle, you need to take action fast. The number one thing you need to do is get rid of the mold. Hire a team of professionals that can go in and get rid of the material that has these mold spores. You can even hire companies that do testing. So look for areas that are more damp. You can suspect in the basement would be common areas, or if there's older part of the homes that seem to be more damp. Though that is where the mold spores tend to collect, and then they release these mycotoxins that float in the air and can wreak major havoc on your system. So number one is getting rid of the source of the problem. That seems like the obvious thing to do. But what happened over all the years that the spores have likely accumulated and been in your air and your circulation? So number 2 is having to find a HEPA filter. Get your home filled with 1 HEPA filter per area and make sure that you're cleaning out those filters regularly. The nice thing is with these filters, it's not only collecting and eliminating the mold spores, but also can have antibacterial and antiviral components as well. The next thing that I did when I saw that there was visible mold in my bedroom, I opened up all the windows. I wanted just to get air circulation going, even though we're in the dead of winter right now. I wanted to make sure that we are getting rid of anything that our home could be exposed to and allowing fresh air come in, as well as having these HEPA filters running. Not many things can kill off mold. Bleach is one of the top cleaning supplies that you can use when you see visible mold on the tiles or anywhere in the home. But how realistic is that to bleach all your clothes and bleach all of your bedding and all of the furniture that these spores could have attached to? But of course, I'm paranoid now, wanting to clean out my closets and get new bedding, get new sheets. And I just seem to think, I want to get rid of the main things that could be exposed, but at the end of the day, it's unrealistic for me to get rid of everything. Now in your home, those are the obvious things that you can do. Get rid of it, get the air circulating around better, checking for other areas in your home that it could be contaminated. But a lot of us don't realize that the foods that we're eating can also be high in mold. The common ones being legumes, cereals, grains, various spices, dried fruits, coffee, peanuts, and cashews. A lot of the nuts actually can be found to be high in mold as well. So being cautious of what you're putting in your body, because they all can exacerbate this inflammatory response. Now, being a metabolically trained naturopathic doctor, I have a hard time believing that you have to avoid all those foods for the rest of your life or live in this bubble because there's mold spores possibly floating around everywhere. Instead, I take the approach on let's boost your system, let's boost your immune system, and really strengthen how your body is responding to these things. Now, we know just the exposure alone and inhaling these mold spores can wreak havoc on your immune system and compromise it, turning into more of an autoimmune response. However, once we've gotten rid of the main sources, then that's the time that we need to clean up our body, start repairing our gut, and helping our immune system so it doesn't go into this hyperactive histamine response and creating these allergies. Now, before I get into my top 4 treatments to help deal with mold, I want to make sure that you've downloaded my free book, Cancer Doesn't Own You. I talk all about the anti-inflammatory diets and ways that you can boost your immune system. Now, if you suspect your symptoms are coming from mold, you maybe even look back and see the correlations there. Maybe your symptoms started as soon as you moved into this older home, or you started a new job where maybe the building had the sick building syndrome where it's contaminated with the mycotoxins and mold as well. You want to look at the timelines of maybe you were on vacation and you noticed that all of your symptoms got worse as soon as you were in this older, mustier building. You want to look at your environment and when the symptoms started. You can also do a test where you send off your urine to a lab and it can tell you all the various mycotoxins that are in your system. That's a great way to know exactly which spore and which type of mold is affecting you, and it'll give you an exact outline on how you can treat it as well. But just to give you the Coles notes on how you can treat it, I'm going to go through the top 4 things that I personally am going to start doing right away because I do not want to risk anything. I don't want to wait for a test to come back, even though I am going to test. So I'll be sharing those results with you shortly when those results come back. But I want to get started right away on supporting my body and supporting how my body is eliminating this. Now, the first way is through glutathione. Glutathione is a very powerful antioxidant that helps break up mold spores in the body and help with cellular defense. The main way that you get glutathione is through an IV. So luckily I have access to my clinic where I can get IVs administered about 800 milligrams 2 to 3 times a week for the next 2 to 3 months. I could stop once my symptoms start improving, but glutathione is such a powerful antioxidant anyways that it's going to help improve my energy, help with skin, our immune system, help with energy levels, and even help with other chronic disease prevention down the road. You can also get glutathione in a liposomal form. I tend to go from 200 to 800 milligrams. In the liposomal form, I place it under my tongue for about 20 seconds, and you can do that every single day. You want to make sure that you take this antioxidant away from other pro-oxidant things you may be taking, such as chemotherapy and even radiation. Now, I have lots of videos on my favorite way to produce glutathione, and that is through coffee enemas. Coffee enemas will help how your liver produces an enzyme that creates this glutathione in the body, and it's the most efficient way for us to make glutathione ourselves. So if you have non-mold beans, coffee beans, you want to brew them up, and you basically do a coffee enema where the coffee is sitting in your system for 10 to 15 minutes, and that's drastically going to stimulate how your liver is producing this antioxidant. For the next month, I'm going to be doing these coffee enemas 2 to 3 times every single week, just to make sure that my liver is in tip-top shape and to get rid of any other toxic debris that the body may be struggling with. Next thing is supplements. My top 4 favorite supplements are liposomal glutathione, NAC. NAC is great because it crosses the blood-brain barrier and converts to glutathione in the body. Curcumin, activated charcoal, and a 5th actually is quercetin. Quercetin is a natural antihistamine. So if you are getting a lot of allergy symptoms like runny nose, itching, rashes, anything that the mold is causing, that antihistamine will help your body respond to that. So if you are experiencing any allergy symptoms caused from the mold, such as rashes, runny nose, itching, runny eyes, just feeling more tired, or sinus issues, then quercetin is a fantastic one that you can take that acts as a natural antihistamine. Generally, the doses that I use of quercetin is 1,000 milligrams twice a day. And I usually combine that with vitamin C, the vitamin C also being 1,000 milligrams, up to even 6,000 milligrams every single day. Now, the last thing I need to mention before my voice completely disappears is if you have access to ozone therapy is one of the best ways to get rid of mold. You can inhale the off gases of ozone, so the ozonides, when it's purified through olive oil, you can actually inhale that. So that has an anti-mold effect on the body. You can do insufflations where you're filling up an enema bag with the ozone, so O3, and injecting that rectally. And if you have access to a practitioner that can do IV therapy, basically this practitioner will be certified in the use of ozone, being able to take your blood, mixing it with O3 or ozone, and putting that back into your system. That is by far the most powerful way to kill off mold that could be circulating in your system. Now, like I said, you can do the test to understand the degree that your body has been exposed to this mold. I've seen with patients go anywhere from 3 to 6 months on an anti-mold protocol to see this chronic inflammation come down. For me personally, I'm going to be doing enemas, the supplements. I'm going to be jumping into an ozone sauna. I'm going to be doing IVs. I'm going to be doing the works until I feel better. So at least 1 month until my results come back and I can see the degree of how contaminated my body possibly is. But I plan on doing this 1 to 3 months until I'm feeling phenomenal again.